We start with some stories on SML, and management of the Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, SML, says it remains confident that the probe by the audit firm KPMG will establish the integrity of its work with the Ghana Revenue Authority. The firm will, in the next 14 days, be assessing the revenue assurance contract to determine whether there's value for money following allegations of duplicity of roles currently executed by other state agencies. A statement issued by the management welcomes the presidential directive on investigations and assures of cooperation. We'll stay on the story now, and barring any foreseeable changes, audit firm KPMG will begin its probe into the revenue assurance contract between government and Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, SML. Now, this is to enable it to meet the 2 weeks deadline handed it by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. The directive by the president has been rejected by some anti-corruption crusaders, but the president has not rescinded his directive.
The publication by the Fourth Estate questioned the necessity of the contract amid allegations SML was doing work other state agencies were equally handling. The special prosecutor was petitioned to investigate the matter, while Parliament's Finance Committee suspended the deal ahead of its own probe.
Parliament is going to initiate a probe into the SML. I urge the Committee of Finance to conduct this probe diligently and in a manner that will show transparency. So it shouldn't be held in secret. We should open it to public so that the public will hear what is going to happen, what the committee is doing. I'm very confident in the Committee of Finance, particularly the NDC side of the committee.
The presidency has since announced that audit firm KPMG should look into the matter and submit its report within 2 weeks. This has left civil society organizations and anti-corruption crusaders unhappy. A former Auditor General, Daniel Domelevo, believes the Auditor General is better placed to handle the matter.
We are talking about the administration or the governance of the country. The institution with the highest authority to do audit in Ghana is the Office of the Auditor General. No other institution. And by law, they have established YOCO. By law, they have established OSP. So there are institutions already established. So why didn't the president direct the same request to the Auditor General or to YOCO or to OSP? And here's the case, even the Parliament has also taken it up, which to me, to be honest with you, even the Parliament coming in, I thought was not necessary. They should have just directed it to YOCO or OSP and say, OSP, investigate that. So the presidency coming in or Parliament coming in does not add any value to the finding that we are going to make. It is what we make out of the finding, which is important to the country.
The minority in Parliament has also registered its displeasure, indicating that this is a matter that is already being investigated by Parliament's Finance Committee. The presidency is, however, yet to rescind its directive calling for the probe.
Well, let's head to the office of the special prosecutor. He, Kisi Ejaben, has said that his outfit is unable to proffer criminal charges against the unnamed businessman who allegedly attempted to bribe 80 NPP MPs to back down on their demand for the resignation of Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta. Kisi Ejaben said his office has come to this conclusion because the accuser, Andy Apiakubi, has failed to cooperate with investigations.
Meanwhile, we want to serve notice, and notice is hereby served, that until such persons as aforementioned are made to resign or removed from office, we, members of the majority caucus here in Parliament, will not participate in any business of government by or for the president, by any other minister. We hope that those of us of the backbench and members of the majority caucus will abide by this prayer. We are saying that If our request is not responded to positively, we will not be present for the budget hearing, neither we will participate in the debate. Thank you very much.
The action of these MPs, deemed unprecedented in the history of the Fourth Republic, triggered a petition to the Office of the Special Prosecutor from pressure group Occupy Ghana in November 2022. After 8 months of painstaking investigation, the Special Prosecutor concluded that he could not proceed with criminal charges because the principal character in the matter has decided to invoke his right to remain silent. The OSP found that a wealthy businessman did in fact attempt to offer money to a section of the Majority Caucus of Parliament with the intention of influencing their demand for the resignation or removal of Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta as minister. The report further noted that gathered intelligence of the OSP's investigation of the activities of its identified suspect are not sufficient to sustain criminal charges. The report, however, adds that the investigation may be reopened should the circumstances and further acts so dictate.
Meanwhile, anti-corruption campaigner and co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption, Adam Senanu, in reacting to the OSP statement, reiterated for the passage of the Conduct of Public Officers Bill to ensure that citizens are compelled to give full disclosure in investigations. This, he says, will go a long way to help the fight against corruption.
It does not appear that there is, and it's probably one of the reasons why the need to pass the Conduct of Public Officers Bill is so crucial. This is something that been well thought through. It's been before cabinet. It needs to come back to the legislature for them to pass, because in there you have clauses that make it explicitly clear that certain practices are not allowed, certain things are expected, there are certain obligations, and I think that is where the OSP and other anti-graft agencies would have the capacity to demand that you provide the information available, and they can take you on. There are two pieces of legislation we need to urgently pass. The COPO is one, and then the illicit financial enrichment one as well. These things will help various agencies in this country have much more teeth in terms of the fight against corruption. Right. It's a sad statement on the quality and the patriotism of leaders in Ghana that we could not find one man standing willing to say that this is wrong. We will not support it, we will not defend it, we will not hide it, we will not pretend we don't have the facts in the interest of the public good, knowing that Ghana will be better. It's a sad statement on the state of our quality of leaders in this country.
And to some more stories, our government is yet to pay for arrears owed the Ghana Publishers Association after the supply of textbooks to the basic school since July 2022. Out of the monies owed the publishers, the government has only paid a paltry 20%. President of the Ghana Publishers Association, Asari Yamwa, said it will be difficult to do a reprint of the textbooks if the monies are not settled.
In August, the ministry, we have had some demands, paid 20% of the debt. We are left with 80%. And that is not forthcoming. That's what we are asking the ministry to do the needful. All the same, we are hoping that we will keep the relationship and we will not degenerate into a state that we may have to take some drastic measures that will not inure to the relationship that we have established over the years. So the timeline was actually, they said upon delivery they're going to pay 50%, and then the other 50% was to pay in time. So we were expecting when the publisher delivered sometime March, April, May or thereabout of last year, we were expecting the ministry to have honored that agreement to pay 50%, and then the balance will be negotiated. Unfortunately, the 50% was not paid. Okay. And as I said, we needed to do a lot of back and forth until in August they were able to pay the 20%. That's for the schools until after maybe next academic year, where maybe government may have to order reprints of the books where if payment has not been made, and it's going to be difficult for the publishers to be able to honor that reprint. Otherwise, at this current stage, the books have been delivered to the schools and they are being used for teaching and learning.
Now let's do some politics now. The flag bearer of the opposition National Democratic Congress has revealed that the NDC will in 2025 introduce a budget that will cater primarily to the economic downturn, which he says has been inflicted by the New Patriotic Party government. Now speaking in a nationwide broadcast, John Dramani Mahama says taxes will be adjusted to give more incentive to Ghanaian businesses, a prelude to his 24-hour economy game changer.
The 2024 budget provides no hope for an improvement in our circumstances. A raft of new tax measures have been slapped on us to raise an additional 11 billion Ghana cedis from the already overburdened taxpayers. In that same budget, while they sought to squeeze the last blood from Ghanaians through increased taxes, they have increased the money allocated to the office of the president from 1.4 billion Ghana cedis to over 2 billion Ghana cedis. A clear case of asking the people to tighten their belts while the president loosens his. Bawumia's economic mismanagement, corruption, and Akufo-Addo's poor governance and leadership have led to a significant decline in living standards for the ordinary Ghanaian. When hope is gone, the people who destroyed your hope must also go. They will go on December 7th, 2024. This call to national duty is bigger than any individual interest. Change is coming. I'm confident that together we will change the direction of this country this year on December 7th, 2024 and build a brighter future for Ghana.
Komla Klujem, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, on the labour front, lotto marketers have kicked against a decision by the government to introduce a 10% tax on lotto winnings. The group, which is asking government to suspend the implementation of the policy, says the imposition will undermine sales, revenue, profits and growth in the lottery industry. Grace Hamwajiman has the rest of the story.
The lotto business is undeniably one of the oldest trades in the country, serving both the young and the old, including 73-year-olds and older. In their red, yellow and green painted kiosk, these lotto doctors, through their pens and papers, help change the fortunes of people. But it appears this time their fortunes will rather turn around, as the government intends to impose a 10% tax on their business. Atto Brown is a pensioner and has been in the business for close to 3 decades.
1974, then I came to pension. He gave me the machine to work. About 20 years.
He indicates how the trade has supported him after his pension.
First 25, they reduced 20%. Up to now, they have increased the pay. Up to now, they have increased their commission. And so this one, only small money I get it. First that year, I used to get money, but this time there, I didn't. The money is not coming.
He might not be the only adult who will be affected by the introduction of any taxation on any aspect of their business. A 63-year-old Comfort Mingle says the 10% tax is unheard of.
We have been
in this business for long, and we must get some respect. Government should reserve the national for we, the grown-ups.
National, Saturday.
This is not the first time a tax component has been introduced into the lottery industry in the last decade. In 2015, a withholding tax of 5% was imposed on the winnings, but was later reversed in 2017. According to the National Lotteries Authority, the scrapping was a way of attracting more bettors and stakeholders.
The customers and the stakers, they are not getting wins. So if one day they will get win and you deduct 10%, then what do you expect the person to do? The person will keep his or her money inside their pockets.
Even by mistaking, even from January to December, he might not win. See the amount of money that goes into the government coffers in terms of taking the lotto.
Apart from unpaid earnings, these traditional lotto operators are also battling stiff competition from online and other phone-based games thanks to technology.
Ever since they introduced the kit thing, that is online, the kit thing, lotto business is down. All of us here, everybody here is going through struggling. There is nothing going on. We are lotto accredited lotto receivers. So when people come to stake from us, and they come, they are not able to pay or they don't want to waste time, they come and give it to us in the shop. For the past 2 years, they don't call us, they don't pay us.
Lotto stakers are also divided over the directive.
When you look to the game, would you have more profits? What I say? I just say, last Sunday, say me di 1,200. 1,200 now, what 100, what 50. It's many more interest. What I say?
I always win when I stake, so I don't have a problem if the government brings a tax.
Tax is too much. Last me the 500 Ghana, 100 cedis.
The tax is too much.
The General Secretary of the Lotto Marketing Companies, Joseph Omabo, says government will have to find other ways to generate revenue than their business.
I see that one as crazy, very, very crazy, because how can they tax banker to banker? How can they tax those operating on air, online? How about the Alpha Lotto and the rest? It's not possible. But you see, it looks as if they've targeted the lotto marketing companies and they want to do away with this.
This is a lotto machine, and the earnings that come out of the transactions that go through this machine is what has become topical now. For these lotto operators, they won't have a problem if government finds innovative ways to make their business lucrative and more attractive. The implementation of this tax policy is yet to begin, and we'll see how it pans out. Grace Hamuajiman, TV3 News, Accra.
Well, the MPP vetting yesterday entering day 2, but let's give you a wrap of how day 1 ended. And in the Greater Accra region, there's growing tension in the Ayawaso West Worgan constituency of the MPP following the disqualification of former MPP youth organizer and aspirant Kwabena Amankwa. Here's a report. Sounds of party supporters chanting in favor of various aspirants who thronged the MPP vetting premises. The National Parliamentary Vetting Committee for the New Patriotic Party sat through interviews for aspirants in 8 constituencies in the Greater Accra region. These include the keenly contested Dom Kwabena, Okaikwe South and Central constituencies, Anyaso Tom, and the Ayawaso West Worgan constituencies. But the vetting process was not as smooth as expected. Besides the disqualification of an aspirant for the Okaikwe South constituency, controversy ensued at the vetting site when former MPP youth organizer and aspirant for the Ayawaso West Worgan constituency, Osu Amankwa, stormed out of the premises alleging a plot to favour the incumbent MP for the constituency, Lydia Seram Al-Hassan.
I got a bit disappointed because in 2018 I contested and I did not see this kind of vetting. I had couple of meetings with very high-powered gentlemen and then executives of the party persuading me to step down for the incumbent, which I told them in all humility would not happen because the delegates and the constituents are calling for Amankwa. After the vetting, after 2 successive meetings spanning over 3 hours, they are telling us Amankwa is not qualified to contest the Ayawaso West Worgan seat.
He said he would appeal the decision.
Fortunately, we have an appeal process to embark on. I think this will be a very nice journey. It's a battle for the youth of Ghana and the youth of Ayawaso West Worgan.
Amongst other major highlights of day 1 of the vetting process was the appearance of 3 aspirants contesting the Dom Kwabena seat. Michael Kwe Jr., who for the second time is contesting the seat after losing with just 8 votes in the last contest, expressed confidence that he will this time lead the charge.
The last election was about 6 or so votes, so we know that this time the dynamics may be different. Nevertheless, we want to go into this thing with civility. We want the delegates to determine, and then after that, Dome Kwabena can move in the right direction.
And for the sitting MP Adjoa Safo, members of the constituency have already forgiven her for her past disappointments.
It takes a woman of courage. It takes a courageous politician to accept that I've done something wrong. Forgive me. And that is what has touched the hearts of the people of Dome Kwabena. And I know they still would vote me into power.
Sheila Ponsichi, who is for the first time contesting the Dome Kwabena slot, says she will be given the nod.
Dome Kwabena is ready for change. Positive change, good change, change that's going to bring us victory December 24.
In the Anyasotum constituency, sitting MP Adoma Kukisi is asking members of the constituency to vote based on his track record.
I really think that based on the challenges we've had in the second term of the MPP party, I'll plead with people to really assess me, not without connection.
Greater Accra Regional Secretary of the MPP, Odali Parker, advised the aspirants to handle decisions with the overall well-being of the party in mind.
This is an internal election. We have a fierce contest in 2024. They shouldn't look at their interests. They should look at the larger interests of the NPP breaking the eight.
Judith Brown, TV3 News, Accra. And in the Ashanti region, 5 incumbent MPs will have no contest on January 27 when the ruling party holds its parliamentary primaries. Now, among the MPs is the Education Minister, Dr. Yawase Eruchum. William Evans Inkum covered the first day of vetting and reports.
What was supposed to be vetting for parliamentary candidates turned into a full-fledged campaign arena. Supporters of opponents seized the opportunity to give a glimpse of what is to be expected later in January when the main contest kickstarts. Some were throwing jabs at each other. Tough-spoken aspirants.
Come 27th of January, I'm going to win. On the 27th of January 2024, I'll emerge as the winner of that primary.
To speak to you, I've already donated 2 plots of land for the party to build a party office.
My constituency, I have them at heart. I believe in people-centric, where I put my people first.
Aspirants from 41 constituencies in the Ashanti region are going through vetting, a process expected to last for 2 days. Nobody was disqualified on the first day of the process. 5 sitting MPs have their tickets already secured for December 7 contest. MP for Efijase Asukore, Dr. Ayu Efriye, MP for Bosomtwe, Dr. Osei Eruchum, Alex Blankson of Ekrofom, and Dr. John Kuma of Ejoso are all going unopposed. Formena constituency has been exempted from the process, a seat which is currently being occupied by the second Deputy Speaker, Andrews Esiama. Kumawu is also exempted following a by-election held last year. By virtue of the current situation, Enesia Enim has already secured his tickets to contest in December 7. Meanwhile, P for Asokwa constituency, Patricia Apeje faces opposition from her former aide and another medical practitioner who was a close contender in the 2020 primaries.
And in the Eastern region, Yvonne Nikwe reports that the Information Minister, Kojo Ponkrumah, and Deputy Trade and Industry Minister, Michael Otri-Befi, who are being contested, are sure of winning.
A total of 26 aspirants from 8 constituencies, Achiase, Suhum, Etiwa West, New Jabeng South, Kede, Achim Swedru, Nkoko, and Ofuasi Iwebi turned up for vetting on the first day in the Eastern region. Amidst a charged atmosphere, the proceedings commenced. In Incumbent MPs concede the competition may be fierce from their contenders, but are confident of sailing through.
I think my encouragement is to the supporters of the New Patriotic Party across the country that we should continue to conduct ourselves with decorum and with respect for one another, because the 2024 election is one unlike any other, where Ghanaians are looking up to us to deliver something different in a third term. And the way we conduct ourselves right from now till then matters a lot.
I'm not going to take it simple or underrate anybody. I'll go all out. I'll prosecute the campaign as if I'm going with a colossus in politics, because I don't know anybody who is a novice in politics. I see everybody as a politician. So if you come to contest me, I see you as a lion, and I'll come onto you with so much power and vigor.
And that's how we wrap up the 6 a.m. news here on TV3. My name is Judith Brown. It's a pleasure coming to you always. Do stay tuned for the rest of New Day.